Welcome to the 4th ASEAN EU Cooperation and Scholarship Day. You are now in the reception area. Here is the list of events we have prepared for you. Click on the schedule button to get a reminder on your phone or devices. Just dropping in to see what's on? Find this little red button to see which event is currently live and just join the fun. Take the time to explore the expo area and see what have been prepared for you. Here on the booth panel, you can have a one-on-one Q&A session with our exhibitors. Download all the information that interests you, join workshops and sessions, or try out the games. Each session also has its own booth panel for you to interact with the speakers. To have a conversation with an expo representative, click Share Video and Audio. The booth moderator will allow you to have a conversation with them. Have something to say? Head on over to the Voice of Youth booth. Pick your virtual background and overlay and say it with a photo or video. Don't forget to follow and tag at EU in ASEAN when you post it on social media. You might be the lucky winner to get a special hamper from the EU. We're so excited to have you here and we wish you a good time.
Hi everyone, welcome to day 2 of the 4th Asian EU Cooperation and Scholarship Day 2021. And we are now on day 2 at the main stage with the topic Scholarship Opportunities for ASEAN Students. Now, just to remind everyone, I'm sure you've heard it all through the event yesterday and today, that this year marked the 44th year of partnership between ASEAN and EU. And the central of this partnership is a people-to-people connectivity and creating strategic partnership and development cooperation through increasing the mobility of students, professionals alike throughout the region to flow in new ideas, cooperation, and innovations. And this is key in creating a prosperous, inclusive society and also improving the well-being and social welfare of all. Now, this session would be key for that to happen. And this would be a great session because we have some great speakers with us today. We have Redora Babaran, Director of Human Development Directorate of ASEAN. Hi, Redora. How are you?
Hello, Christopher. I'm good. I hope everyone is doing good.
I hope everyone is doing great as well. We also have Darren McDermott, Team Leader of Share Program, together with Pa Arif Maulana, Share Program Manager for NUFIC. Hi, guys. How are you from Share today?
Afternoon. Very well, thanks.
Hi.
Likewise.
And also past scholarship recipient Zainul Abidin bin Haji Muhammad. Hi, how are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm great.
Good. This is amazing because, guys, you all want to hear from them, and I would encourage you more than that. I want you to ask them questions. They will share some presentations around scholarships, and I'm sure you need to know more so that you can go and grab your future today. In order to do that, please go hop in and into the comment section and ask questions that you think is applicable for you and your friends. So before we do any of that, I just want to make sure that everyone is here ready. And without further ado, I think, Redora, you have something that you want to share with us?
Yes, definitely. We are excited to share as much opportunity for scholarship for all ASEAN students.
Awesome. Please go ahead, Redora.
All right. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to present the scholarships for ASEAN students supported by our ASEAN partners. So first is the ASEAN Master Program in Sustainability Management. This program is a full-time 2-year MBA or 120 credits, but taught intensively over 18 months. The multidisciplinary approach makes this master program unique, and the courses are taught jointly by professors from University Gadjah Mada, Indonesia, and University of Asia, as well as by practitioners from private businesses and public offices, invited as guest lecturers in most courses. Faculty members from participating ASEAN university networks are also invited as guest lecturers based on their scientific qualifications and regional competencies from various parts of the region. This program is initiated by the generous funding from the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Through this program, students can attend a state-of-the-art master's program while enjoying close contact with business and government organizations through guest lecturers, internships, and master's thesis research. Students will also benefit from developing a strong alumni network spanning countries and continents. Next is the ASEAN China Young Leaders Scholarships, or ACYLS, which is a flagship project in response to the call of leaders of ASEAN member states and China to increase people to people exchanges and strengthen education cooperation and academic linkages between ASEAN member states and China. It provides opportunities for ASEAN nationals to pursue high quality education and vocational training in China. And the first ACYLS program was successfully launched in 2019, and about 140 recipients from across ASEAN participated in this program. So this scholarship offers postgraduate scholarship programs, including masteral, doctoral, and short-term courses. The scholarships are announced yearly through the Ministries of Education or ministries responsible for education in ASEAN member states, including in ASEAN University Network universities. Next is the scholarship Higher Education for ASEAN Talents, or HEAT. This scholarship is designed to provide higher education in Korea for ASEAN faculty members. The main purpose of this program is to support ASEAN nationals in their acquisition of a doctoral degree in Korea, with the aim to enhance their expertise and promote people-to-people exchanges between Korea and ASEAN. The field of study varies, and starting this year, the scholarship is expanded to include public health and medicine-related majors or programs in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The application process is through the host university, and the call for application is done twice a year and announced through the Korean Council for University Education, where you can see the website address on the screen. Another scholarship program in ASEAN is the scholarship for students from ASEAN countries pursuing master's programs at the Nalanda University in India. The main objective of the scholarship is to contribute to the promotion of international goodwill and enhance cultural understanding amongst young people. Specifically, it aims to help students from ASEAN countries in getting quality, research-based education, thus bringing India closer to ASEAN community, to provide a platform for cross-cultural and transnational sharing of knowledge amongst the students coming from ASEAN countries, to provide students of ASEAN countries opportunities for development of their personality and caliber as human resource, to help strengthen ties with ASEAN community through academic and student support, and to encourage research on topics connected to all countries in ASEAN and India. The application process is done through the Nalanda University, and the call for applications is done once a year. The announcement usually is also published in the ASEAN website and Ministries of Education or ministries responsible for higher education. Another scholarship is the Canada ASEAN Scholarships and Educational Exchanges for Development, or the SEED program, which aims to reduce poverty in developing countries of ASEAN and to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, or the SDGs. It is a short-term studies or 1 to 2 semesters for college, undergraduate, and graduate level of students. The field of studies focus on issues that narrow the development gap and reduce poverty in the region. The SEED scholarships are facilitated through institutional collaborations and student exchange agreements between Canadian and ASEAN institutions. These agreements are created between colleges, technical or vocational institutions, and universities. Students and candidates must be registered as full-time students in their home institution at the time of application and during the duration of their study or research stay in Canada. The call for application is announced once a year through our website and EduCanada. We also have the Fulbright U.S. ASEAN Visiting Scholars Initiative, which was launched in 2012. The main objective is to deepen people-to-people engagement and strengthen our educational ties around issues important to the ASEAN region. 2021 marks the 9th year of this program. To date, more than 87 scholars from all 10 ASEAN member states have been awarded scholarships to carry out a 3 to 4 month research in the U.S. universities on a wide range of subjects, including maritime security, climate change, health, finance, political security, wildlife trafficking, and teaching English as a second language. This program is open to university faculty, foreign ministry and government officials, and professional staff of think tanks and other NGOs in ASEAN member states whose work focuses on U.S. ASEAN issues. The call for application is done once a year and announced through the official website of U.S. Mission to ASEAN and U.S. Embassy, which you can also see on the screen. Next, we also have the Stipendium Hungaricum Scholarship Program, or SH program, which was established by the Hungarian government to strengthen its bilateral relation with its African, Asian, Latin American, and Eastern European partners to promote the internationalization of Hungarian higher education and to attract top foreign students from all around the world who can establish personal and professional attachments to Hungary while enjoying high-quality education in the heart of Europe. When the graduates return to their home countries with marketable skills and knowledge, they can build civil, political, and economic relationships, contributing to the improvement of Hungary's image and recognition abroad. As of November last year, 9 out of the 10 ASEAN member states have participated to the SH program. And the Brunei Darussalam is also undergoing preparation to participate in this program. Last but not the least is the European Union support to higher education in the ASEAN region, or what we call the EU SHARE. Since 2015, SHARE has been helping promote internationalization and regional cooperation in ASEAN higher education, and it has also provided more than 500 scholarships for intra-ASEAN and ASEAN-EU student mobility. Since there is a panelist from the EU SHARE program, more details will be later presented by the SHARE team. So, this ends my presentation. If you wish to connect with ASEAN Secretariat or learn more about the different scholarship opportunities, please contact us through the different social media platforms of the ASEAN Secretariat. Thank you very much for your attention and good afternoon.
Thank you, Rodora. Wow, it really feels like going to a shopping mall full of scholarship, listening to so many different things, so many different scholarship you can choose from. Rodora, I've got maybe 1 or 2 questions that I want to ask you in between this session, if that's all right with you. And the rest of the questions we'll ask after the other have done their presentation.
Yeah, sure.
So I think a quick one that would apply for everyone here, as there is a question around what is the minimum achievement we would achieve for applying undergrad scholarship program? What kind of achievement are we talking about? Or is it available on every website for them to actually look and know each of the criteria that they need?
The scholarship offerings vary. Some of them are for short-term courses and some of them are for a full degree. But then the minimum achievement, of course, is for most of our scholars or applicants to have graduated from secondary education. But since most of our scholarships are postgraduate level, so they must have had already a bachelor's degree upon application.
Well noted. Okay. Thank you for that, Rodora. And one more question. I think the question was, where can they get this information later on? I mean, I think the question was around, is there a website that they can have a look at all of this? Just can you repeat that part again for everyone to have a peace of mind where they can find this again?
Yes. Towards the end of my presentation, you would see that I think in the second to the last slide, we have social media platforms for ASEAN Secretariat. If you wish to get more information about those scholarships, just get in touch with us. Alternatively, you can visit the ASEAN website. At the moment, ASEAN website is transferring to its new design, to its new look. So just be patient. Later on, all those scholarship offerings, information will be available in our website. And for the individual dialogue partners of ASEAN who have been supporting these scholarship programs, information is also available in their respective websites.
Thank you so much, Rodora. And we will be back with you again for more questions later on. And for everyone here, keep the questions coming so that we can pick and choose the right questions to ask to all of the speakers at the end of their presentations. Now, we also have, as Rodora mentioned as well, we also have people from the SHARE programs here with us, and we have Darren and Arif that will present first about the SHARE program. Hi, Darren. How are you today?
Very good, Christopher, and thanks very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to provide just a very brief overview on the SHARE program and the activities that we're working on with ASEAN stakeholders to contribute to the development of an ASEAN higher education space. So SHARE is the largest higher education cooperation program underway in ASEAN. And the program's overarching objective is to strengthen regional cooperation and enhance the quality, competitiveness, and internationalization of ASEAN higher education. And this contributes to the development of an ASEAN higher education space. SHARE is delivered by a consortium comprised of the British Council, the DAAD, or German Academic Exchange Organization, NOFIC, the Netherlands International Education Agency, and Arif comes from NOFIC, you'll hear more from him in a moment, and ENQA, the European Association for Quality Assurance in Higher Education. Next slide, please. So coinciding with ASEAN's 50th anniversary, SHARE received the endorsement by 10 ASEAN heads of state at their meeting in Manila in November 2017. And since 2015, SHARE has held 12 policy dialogues to foster engagement between key stakeholders of regional organizations, institutions, and students on the development of an ASEAN higher education space. So our most recent policy dialogue was held at the end of July and can be viewed on our SHARE YouTube site. More than 550 scholarships have been awarded to ASEAN students to pursue their studies abroad, and we're working concertedly with ASEAN higher education community in developing our ASEAN higher education space further. So next slide, please. We'll see many more inclusive policy dialogues, and these will ensure greater collaboration, cohesion, and momentum towards enhancing quality, harmonization, and internationalization. And the focus of Result Area 3 activities under NOFIC is the development and digital transformation of the current SHARE Intra-ASEAN Student Mobility Scholarship. Mobility is somewhat challenging at the moment, so we're looking very much at new initiatives in the virtual space. And this will lead to the development of an ASEAN-branded, owned, and operated scholarship program. Mobility of students between ASEAN member states is a very important aspect of the SHARE program. And in response to COVID-19, we've developed a new modality looking at virtual exchange and collaborative online international learning. We do hope that this will complement physical mobility when we're able to do that again. It's in the next slide. It's certainly the vision of the SHARE program consortium that over the course of our program, we can be a partner and catalyst for ASEAN's ownership, sustainability of a collaborative, accessible and inclusive and resilient ASEAN higher education space. And I'd now like to hand over to my colleague, Mr. Arif Maulana, SHARE Program Manager for the SHARE Scholarship, to introduce our plans for a new phase of the program. Over to you, Arif. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. So about the SHARE Scholarship Program, we are part of one of the result areas under the SHARE program. Darren already mentioned about the first two result areas, and the last one is on the scholarships. Now, for the scholarships itself, the SHARE program is offering fully funded scholarships for undergraduate students to study one semester, fully funded for students coming from SHARE partner universities, from selected universities, to go abroad to within the region. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So why would you want to study in ASEAN? So since 2015, we've, as mentioned, we've sent out around over 500 students into ASEAN and also ASEAN EU. We find that for the second phase of SHARE, we want to focus more on intra-ASEAN to create an ASEAN higher education space, because we've seen that ASEAN is a very important region. It's a growing region. It's dynamic. It's very diverse. And we want to promote connectivity between the ASEAN member states. Next slide, please. So just to give you an overview of the SHARE scholarship itself, it's very interesting that the ASEAN to be more focused on its own region, because in the future, we believe that youth will be very important for the region. Next slide, please. So why do you want to go? Why do you want to apply for SHARE scholarships? Well, the SHARE scholarships, its members are ASEAN's finest universities. It's also able to produce credit transfers. So when you study abroad and study there for a semester, the courses that you take can be taken home and add it to your credit courses. So you will not lose any time when you any time to graduate. So it will not add on to your time of studying. Also provide full scholarships. Initially, we have a physical mobility where we cover everything from its allowances to insurance to airfares, and also activities within the share region itself. If you participate in ASEAN events or share events, we also cover for that. The experience will also be an added value to your curriculum vitae. You will meet a lot of people from the ASEAN network, not just from the universities, but also from share events as well. And it falls under, it's also in line with ASEAN's work, contributing to creating an ASEAN community through people-to-people connectivity. Next slide, please. So what about the pandemic? I think Darren already mentioned that because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hampering, that it hampers a lot of the program. But we do see this as an opportunity for Share to improve and enhance the student mobility experience, not just focusing on physical, but also there's a potential to explore other ways of doing the student mobility, such as virtual exchange and collaborative online international learning, or COIL. And this also is in line with one of our objectives, which is a digital transformation within the region. And although we are moving more to a digital transformation, it doesn't mean that it's going to end the physical, but it will, in the end, we hope that it will be hand in hand and complementary for both schemes to be done in parallel. Next slide, please. Right. So for Share, we want to introduce a virtual exchange scheme. We are currently working with our partner universities, with our Share experts, to develop a virtual exchange program with full consideration of health and also national policies on boundaries. Next, please. So what can you get for a virtual exchange? Of course, as for any scholarship, we will provide a wide range of courses. We'll also have personal development embedded into the program itself. So it's not just about academic, but also personal development. And it offers a little bit of flexibility compared to a physical, because again, the time is flexible, and also the courses that you take will also give you more flexibility compared to a physical one. Another item that we want to add onto the scholarship is a virtual cultural program, or an ASEAN enhancement program, as we want to call it. Is going to be embedded also in that program to ensure that even though you're not in that host country, you will get the same cultural experience or similar to that. And again, expanded network is not just from ASEAN that will take part in these courses. Other students from other countries will also be there, and most importantly, we will ensure that the courses that you take can have a credit transfer criteria where you can get those credit transferred to your home university. Next slide, please. So here you can see some of the Share partner universities from Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, PDR, and Malaysia. For Share, usually students are all coming from these universities, and they go across to other universities within the Share partner university. So there are 32 partner universities at the moment, and we are looking forward to expanding the number of universities participating for the virtual exchange scheme. Next slide, please. Similarly, are some of the universities, partner universities from Myanmar, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. We are also trying to engage Singapore and Brunei to take part and participate within the Share Scholarship Program. And once we have their confirmation, we will add them into the list. Next slide, please. Excuse me. So what are the eligibility criteria to apply for Share? First, you must be an undergraduate student from ASEAN, and it also must be coming from participating universities. because this is actually a pilot test to ensure that credit transfer bearing can be done. Also, you must have completed at least 2 semesters at your home universities, meaning you have passed your first year or preliminary freshman year in your universities. You must be a national of an ASEAN member state. So if not, you cannot apply. And you must receive an endorsement or an approval from your home universities to take part in the program. Once you receive your home university's approval, then you need to apply to a share participating university and get a letter of acceptance from them to study for 1 semester. Next slide, please. So the scholarship coverage for the virtual exchange scheme, at the moment, it's still being discussed and waiting for approval. However, similarly to the scholarships in the physical mobility stage, all of the universities in the chair have agreed that the tuition fee for those courses that are offered are waived. They will also receive some support for ICT. Books and study materials, definitely similar to the physical, we will also provide, and also an ASEAN enrichment program or a virtual cultural program, as mentioned earlier. So these are all of the things that we are planning to propose for approval. And how do you apply for a share scholarship? First, you need to log on to our Share AECTS platform to get that. But I'm sorry. Let me go back. So the application process would be the endorsement from the home university, as mentioned. Second is getting the approval from your host university. So you need to apply yourself to the host universities to check their courses and apply for it. The universities have full authority on to accept or not for your application. Once, if you are accepted, you will receive a letter of acceptance from them. And once you receive a letter of acceptance, then you are eligible to apply to the share scholarships through the Share AECTS platform at www.shareasean.org. So for Share, we are responsible for doing the selection of the students. And once you pass all of these stages, we will award you with the Share scholarship. Next slide. So here's the Share platform where you can log in and apply for the scholarship. You can also see the information in this platform on the partner universities, what courses they apply, and also other Share activities are also mentioned here. Next slide, please. And that's it for me. Before I go, I would like to just show a little bit of testimonials from the students. Can you go to the next slide, please? There are some testimonials I would like to highlight for you. These are some students from batch 1 through batch 5 who have experienced the physical mobility. And as I mentioned, we are preparing for a virtual one, and it should be sometime by next year, we will have this ready to be implemented. For further information, you can always log on to our website, follow our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, also in Instagram. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Parif. Wow, amazing program. And I think I saw from a lot of the comments there's a lot of people that are intrigued and they want to know more about Share. Before, I think there will be more questions at the end, but I have a quick questions to ask you. I think the first one is Share available? And one of the member asked this question: is Share available for postgrad students? Do you have a program for postgrad students yet?
At the moment, no. It's only for undergraduate students. Yes.
Okay, at the moment, no. So, well, we'll see. Hopefully, the rolling out would be more successful, and perhaps one day we will see that coming in. And I think another person asked questions around the virtual program that's coming up. Do you have any idea how that's going to be? I know you've mentioned it in the slides, but can you elaborate a little bit more just around the virtual program?
Well, the virtual program, we're currently working with our Share experts and also with the Share partner universities to develop such a program. One of the end goals would be a COIL type program. But again, this needs more work from our side, and it should be available by sometime next year. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Looking forward for that, Parif, and looking forward for more Q&A with you after the next presentation. Thank you, Parif.
Thank
Now, so you've heard from the ASEAN Secretariat and you've heard from Share, guys. Now let's hear it from the man himself who have got the scholarship, a past recipient of scholarship, and he will share to you about his experience. And please, again, ask questions that you want from him, perhaps something that can relate to you a bit more specific. Go ahead, ask that questions. And I would like to, with that in mind, I would like to welcome Zainul Abidin bin Haji Muhammad. Hi, Zainul Abidin, how are you?
Hi everyone. I hope everyone is staying safe. And let me share my slide for you.
Go ahead, go ahead. By the way, congratulations for that scholarship. Hopefully, you can share that whole experience with everybody in the group right now.
Yeah. I hope. Yeah.
Please.
Okay. Oh, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Zainul Abidin bin Haji Muhammad, and I'm from Brunei. So I'm the past scholarship recipient for AIMS. So next slide. So my content will be mostly covering about what is AIMS, how the process of application, and also what is my experience as a AIMS scholars. Next. So a brief introduction about myself. So I'm from Brunei. So I did a bachelor's of geology in a faculty of science in University of Brunei Darussalam. I did my AIMS program, student exchange program back in 2017, and I graduated from my host universities in 2019. So basically, as previous presenters mentioned, usually you have to do at least like 2 semesters in your host university before you are allowed, or if you are eligible to do an exchange program at a partner university. So I did my exchange program in my fifth semesters, and it's in a Mei Long University's from Thailand for 1 semesters. Next. So what is AIMS in general? So AIMS is a ASEAN International Mobility for Students, as mentioned previously. So it is a network for exchange programs for students mostly, and it varies from undergraduates, masters, or PhD from different parts of the world. So next. So the process of applications, how do we apply for AIMS? So first and foremost, you need to check with your host universities if you have any MOU, if the university have any MOU with other partner universities, and you need to check the deadlines of the application from the partner universities. So basically, if you are wanted to enroll in August semesters or September, so you need to prepare the application earlier. So basically, it should be around like March, and then you have to see through your university's coordinator when the partner universities that you are wanted to go open their application, and you need to fill in all the AIMS requirements, such as fulfilling the basic requirements, such as you undergo a semesters or 2, and then you have to see if the university that you're going has a faculty that you are enrolled in your host universities. Next. So these are the examples of an application for a Mei Fah Luang universities that I enrolled to, that I went to, basically. So these were prepared for me when I was in my, I believe, in my 4th semester, before 1 semester prior to my enrollment to the university. So the application, you have to prepare all the documentations that is required, such as passport and everything, all the information from your universities. And then you have to send all those information to your partner universities of interest. So you have to meet all the requirements, and you have to see the modules, which is really important, to see if you can transfer your credits as mentioned from the previous presenters. So these are the example for Mefa Luang that I went to. Next. So as an exchange student to Thailand, naturally the subject that I took is Thai language, because part of the experience that you wanted to have is to learn the language, to learn the culture. So I took Thai, and it's really easy to practice because you are surrounded by Thai people. And apart from those, AIMS is uniquely catered for international students, not just us Asians. So they are catering worldwide varieties of people around the globe. So during the program itself, you don't meet among Asian as general. You're meeting a lot of people, which I'm gonna share my experience after. But these are the modules that I took. I took entrepreneurship, science for life, biotechnology, because as I mentioned, I was enrolled in the faculty of science from my host university. So they're transferring me to faculty of science in the partner universities, which is in Mei-Fa Luang University. Next. So again, I know this is COVID period, but my experience was pre-COVID, I would say. So my experience allow me to explore new places as an exchange student. As you know, I hope you know where Brunei is. So we are located in a Borneo island. So when I moved, or basically did my exchange in Thailand, Thailand is a very huge country. So and it was the university that I went to is located in the northern part of the Thailand, which is Chiang Rai. So I traveled to Chiang Mai, which is a 4-hour drive by bus. So this is part of my experience. We went to camping at in the mountain. As you know, geographically, northern Thailand is actually mountainous area. And again, when I went to Chiang Mai, I met another exchange student from Chiang Mai University. So I met people from Germany, Japan, Istanbul, and among others. Next. So as a Bruneian, I would say, of course, you feel like you are not connected with other people because it's a new environment, it's a new place. So they aims in Mei-Fa Luang specifically, they organize a unique system for they call it a buddy system. So if you once you arrive to Thailand, or specifically in the university, so these two lovely people, they actually greeted you in the airport. So they're the one that you met, and they're the one is your buddy during your period, and they also assign you a supervisor. So this my Ajan, which is my teacher. She's my supervisor. She's basically the one who are caring for Bruneian AIM student. So fun facts: in the university that I went to, there's only 2 Bruneians. So basically, she's only catering for 2 people. So it's unique, I would say. And these 2 people, my buddies, they're the one who give me sort of tips where to go, where to buy groceries, and obviously communicate Thai. So they're the one who assigning, showing me around Thailand. Next. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, Zainal Abidin. Wow, it looks like you had a lot of fun there in Thailand. It's and such an amazing experience. Again, thank you for sharing it with us, and congratulations for that AIM scholarship that you got. A quick question around that. Quick question: what do you think the people are looking around criteria about grades, criteria about getting in? Why do you think you won that scholarship?
Personally, I would say I know scholarship is really competitive. So in my host university specifically, there are various numbers of universities offers a lot of different types of scholarship, but the one that I went to, which is in Maypaluang specifically, it's very unique because they're not just, I would say, they're considering your academic, of course, but
Yeah.
your unique experience as an individual, I would say. So not
Nice.
just academic, as a person.
Right. Oh, that is great. Great to hear. And quickly, before we go to all the speakers again, one more question to you is, um, when you applied, what kind of research did you do?
Oh,
Why did you pick
so
this one? Why did you pick this? Why did you pick Ames? Why did you pick this university? But what kind of research do you do before you make that decision? This is the one that I'm applying for.
okay. So in my unique situation, again, I would say my in my major, geology
Yeah.
major, mostly people they wanted to travel to Japan, South Korea, among others. So we call it the mainstream. So I wanted to go and experience something which is more close to the heart, I would say, which is ASEAN in general.
I
So
see.
that is part of the reason why I would say.
Great. Well, thank you so much for the talk, and we will invite all the other speakers again, and we will have a chat about more of the questions that have come in. And guys, I see a lot of questions coming in. Thank you so much. I can sense that everybody is very, very keen on getting some scholarships and going around the world in order to be able to be part of that ASEAN EU partnership. Hi, Rodora. Welcome back
Hello.
again. And I think Pa Arif is also joining us, if I'm not mistaken. But just before that, Rodora, there are some questions that came up for you as well. Well, I think this is for everyone, and I would like to get some different perspective. The question is, when we apply for a scholarship, what are the important things that we need to focus on?
Hmm.
Perhaps,
Actually,
Rodora, do you want to start to answer that question first?
yes, I think there has to be a lot of preparations, not only for the students themselves, but in terms of not only in terms of academic readiness, whether you are complying with all the prerequisites as required by the scholarship, but more so in terms of your psychological mental preparedness, because if you apply
Mm,
for scholarships, especially those that would require international mobility, this may be the first time for many students to travel abroad, to live
yeah,
independently, to be in a foreign country, and probably the language barrier, all sorts of preparation. So I think what's important is not just the academic readiness, but the psychological, all the preparation by the person or by the applicant themselves.
yes. Thank you, thank you. How about you, Pa Arif? How would you? Is there a different perspective, or you want to add to that around what are the important things that we need to focus on when we're applying for a scholarship?
Keep an open mind. That's number one.
Okay.
You're going to experience something new, so try to keep an open mind. Be tolerant, and also don't give up. You failed once, apply again. You failed again, apply again
I
until you
love
get it. Okay?
that.
Because I don't know, maybe from my share experience and my NUFIC experience tells me that, well, scholarships is not only for the geniuses, okay? It's not only
Yeah.
for the brilliant minds. It's actually for people who are willing to do the work, willing to do the steps, willing to do the process. And sometimes it can be very tedious, and it's very tiring, but don't give up. You just
Yeah.
have to keep going on. Perseverance is key. I
Thank you,
think that's it.
Parif. Thank you so much. And I think a lot of people are glad with the answer when you say scholarships are not just for the geniuses, but for those who do the process. Zainul Abidin, are you a genius or are you the someone who did the process?
Okay, I would say I'm not the genius. I'm the below average, I would say. So
Let's not tell honest
honestly,
about that, shall we?
yeah. So I'm really honest. So basically, like as Pa Arif mentioned, if you fail, you have to reapply. You try again. So that's what I
Yeah.
did. So as the
So you
mainstream,
have
as I
failed
mentioned,
before.
yeah, I did. I did.
Okay.
I applied for the mainstream that
Yeah.
I mentioned. So I didn't manage to go through. because obviously there's more geniuses in the university. So I opt for the AIMS one, which is this one.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Well, another question that comes around this type of conversation is, are there any specific criteria for grades? For example, is the minimum grade before you even think about going to apply for a scholarship, or it's very unique for each cases? Maybe Rodora, do you want to start with this one?
I think in general, all the scholarships that are being offered by our dialogue partners for ASEAN students do not have a specific grade requirement to be able
Yeah.
to apply for a scholarship. What it requires, though, is that these students have passed the qualification criteria for that the university they are applying for. So there are entry level requirements for each university, and it can vary depending on the
Yeah.
university they are applying to. But I don't think there's a specific grade requirement for any of these scholarships.
Well, good to know. So everybody that has been asking that question, I saw a lot of that question. What's the minimum grade? Am I good enough? That kind of type of questions. Go ahead, check it out. As Arif said, follow the process, do that kind of research, and you'll find it out. Arif, the question that comes around share right now is, I think a lot of people are interested, but they wish their university is on the list of the partners. Is there a way to add themselves as the partner university, or can the students help the university apply, or what would be the best advice you can give to them if their university wants to be part of share?
Well, Share started out as a pilot. We have to start small. We first
Yeah.
started with 8 universities, 16, now 32,
Wow.
and now we're in the second phase of Share. We want to add more to that list, because in the end, what we're doing it's not just for these universities, but for all universities in the region. So
Yeah.
we are going to expand and expand. But at this point, if you want to join Share, please let us know. I think that's my
Yeah.
best advice at the moment.
Thank you, Parif. And I remember Parif last slide saying that go connect with share. So if you do have that intention, all I can say is connect with them, send them an email, tell them this is what I need to know. Perhaps a collaboration might open from that. Who knows? Okay, guys, thank you again for all the questions. And I just want to remind everyone that these opportunities are open for everyone. You just have to check each of the criteria. And if you do have informations that you need to ask more in detail, I think you can go to the booths later on as well in order to be able to ask questions. There are share booths, there are ASEAN Secretariat booths. Unfortunately, there is no specific booth for Zainul Abidin yet. We haven't made that booth available on Hopin. But
It's okay.
really, I think the idea here is follow through that process, be persistent. I've got a few more questions that's coming in. For Rodora, a few of the questions asking when they got the scholarship, how long is it until how long will they get the study grant after it's being approved? If I get it, say, at this time around, does that mean I can go right away, or does that mean I have to go next semester, next year? How would that work?
Normally, the amount of lead time we provide for the scholarship offering or for the call for applicants, usually a year in advance, or at least
Yeah.
2 semesters ahead.
2 semesters ahead, or yes. But Arif, is that the same with share as well?
No, because it's a one semester, so it's usually for the upcoming semesters.
For the
so
upcoming
we kind
semester.
of have to work a little bit.
And how long would that maybe with Paari first, how long would that process pass? So for the next semester, does that mean I have to apply at the start of this semester right now so that I can go into the next semester? Or if I waited until the middle before I start application, that will be fine? How does that work, Pa?
Let me just clarify that this is only for the physical mobility, because right now we're still in the discussion in the virtual
correct.
part.
Yes, let's talk about the
Okay.
physical mobility for now. Yes.
But from our experience for the physical one, because it's what is it? The application is two parts. The first one is you should apply directly to the university you want to study.
Yep.
Of course, it's a share partner university, and these universities have their own rules and regulation. They have their own time frame on when you can apply for those courses. Yeah, so
Nice.
for that, that depends on the universities.
Yeah.
Once you receive a letter of acceptance, there will be a time for you to apply for the scholarship. and that usually we give them around 1 month to 2 months of time for them to apply.
Yes.
Once that's done, it usually takes the process from us would be a month before
Yeah.
we
Okay.
announce the awardees.
Nice. And
Yeah.
for virtual, do you think it will be around the same type of things, or
Well,
the
we're looking
timeline
at a
for
lot
the
of
virtual?
factors.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at a lot of factors, not just the semesters, the current semesters in universities, but also opportunities, other opportunities. Again, we are still working with our share partner universities and with our share experts on virtual
Yeah.
exchange, on how we're going to best approach this. So I cannot announce it right now, but it will be circulated soon. Yeah.
Thank you. So, in essence, follow, share on their social media. Go to their website. Keep looking for it, guys, so that you will have that information. Another
Can I
question.
just add something, Christopher?
Oh,
Because
go
this
ahead,
is a
please,
scholarship.
Patrick.
Yeah, this is a scholarship. So one of the main things about being having getting a scholarship is being active. So again, you're right about encouraging. Visit the website. You need to be looking out for this. So you really need to be out there hunting for this. And cannot just wait for
Yes.
us sending you newsletters. You need to look at the websites to get these informations. Yeah.
Thank you, Parif. And I think that answers the questions on how do we get email updates around this. I think let's be proactive, and you'll find that answer yourself. Great, awesome. Now, there is a question, and I think this is a very important one, is what makes a great personal statement? Rodora, perhaps you want to answer this one?
What makes for a great personal statement? If you're interested for a scholarship, I think um, if you are open-minded, as Arif mentioned, because
Yeah.
engaging in scholarships, especially those international ones, would require you to have an open mind, be adventurous, be open to new environments, new learning, be prepared, and be resilient as well. I think that that would count a lot if ever the selection panel would look into all applications, how resilient and how adaptive this person would be, especially in times like this.
Yeah. So resilient, adaptive, put those experiences and stories within your personal statement. Thank you, Rodora. Zainul Abidin, what did
Yes.
you write on your personal statement?
So uniquely, when I was in my university, my host university, I work as a student assistant. So basically,
Okay.
I also am a buddy in my host university.
Ah,
So I wrote my experience catering international students.
yeah.
So I would say that unique experience got me in. I would say. So yeah.
I can sense the number of participants being a buddy for international students rising after you said that. So, and and I think that's a very good strategy, guys, for everyone that is listening right now. That think about those kind of experiences that will make great personal statements, but be genuine about it, so that it's really a real experience that you can share about that resilience, adaptability, and that would be the one, as I think Zainul Abidin have mentioned, Arif and Rodora have mentioned about. You need to be proactive. You need to be creative, and at the end of the day, it's about your personality and your mind that you have to expand in order to be able to find the place for you to belong in the scholarship. Great. To be honest, Pa Arif, Rodora, and Zainul Abidin, we have so many more questions to ask, but I think we are out of time. So I would really love to say, do you mind giving that one good luck advice, or that one statement that you can give, so that all the participants here know this is what kind of mindset I need to be when I apply for this? Perhaps we'll start with Zainul Abidin. Do you want to start first?
Maybe Paris first.
Please go ahead.
Okay, sure. So basically, again, as Pat Christopher mentioned, like you need to be genuine about things
Yeah.
that you wanted to do and present. So I wanted to add, you need to be humane first. Like you need to know what is your purpose to go
Yes.
somewhere, to do something, and you must have that reason.
Yes. Thank you so much, Pa Arif.
I think for me, my last message would be keep moving forward. Don't stop.
Yep.
Just keep on moving.
Thank you, Pa. Thank you. And Rodora, from the ASEAN Secretariat, what advice would you give them?
For all our applicants, keep a positive mindset, have a go-getter attitude, but be sure to do your research and prepare very well.
Thank you so much. So, everyone, you got the advice from the best in the industry, for someone that have done it, from the people that are doing this every day. Take that advice in, do the work, keep moving, keep the positive mindset, have a purpose, be proactive, find what you need, and never give up. I mean, failing a scholarship is not the end of the world. Failing scholarship is just one step closer on getting the next scholarship that you're applying. So I think I really hope that this session today has been great for you. If you have any more questions, there are booths available for you to come in and ask those questions again, so that you can have more detailed answers. And I know there were a lot of questions around postgrads and doctorates as well. For those ones, there are specific booths that cater for that in this whole platform. So go ahead, look for them. You will find an answer that you need over there. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, Rodora Berbaran, Arif Maulana, Zainul Abidin bin Haji Muhammad. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure. Let's hope that all the people in this room will get the scholarship that they wanted.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Have a
you,
good one.
everyone.